Good afternoon, everyone. It's Germaine here from Bead Spider. I've got some lovely necklaces to show you. Fun and easy, very, very easy. And actually, you can use any beads you like, but I've chosen some really lovely gemstones and crystals and lots of fabulous seed beads. So the first thing we need to do is we need to cut a piece of tiger tail. So if you're doing your necklace, we need to cut a necklace length of the tiger tail, which I've done. And the other thing you need to do is you need to cut 8 strands of thread. So I'm just holding them in place here. I've already cut them to save time. You can make this design any size you like. As I said, I'm just going to do a shortened mini version today. So you can see I've got my 8 strands of thread here, and I've cut them for about 50 centimeters because I'm doing the bracelet size today. But for a necklace you can do 75 centimeters to a meter. If you've got a little bit more than you need, it's probably a good thing, so that you're not sort of short at the end, and then you can always adjust it the size if you want to at the end. We need to thread our size 6 seed beads on our wire. So I've started with my wire and I've threaded 2 of the 5mm beads. Now the 5mm beads, if you can see, they've got a reasonable size hole, not massive, but it'll be able to take all 8 of my threads and plus the wire as well. So how to work out how many beads to put on the bottom. Now because we've got 8 strands of thread, obviously we're going to be doing things 8 times. So it's very easy to work out the length, because if you measure 8 beads, which I've done, and it's approximately an inch, about, give or take, and you need to have every 8 beads is going to be an inch. You need to work in 8s. So for example here I've done 7 times 8 and then plus 2, 1 each for the ends. So that's what I've done here. So this length here will end up for me about 7 inches, and then once I add on my clasp, that's going to give me a good inch on the end. So likewise for the necklace, whatever length you want to make it, you just times that by 8 beads. That's how many of the base beads you'll put on, plus 2 for the ends, 1 for each end. So it's quite easy to work out how many you need, and I didn't put you through watching me stringing it, so I've done that already. So I'll just put that aside, and as I said, I've cut my 8 threads. So now what I want to do is I want to put my clasp on this end to start with. I need to add my 2 beads on the end, because this end is going to be all finished, and we'll work from this end and then we'll go to the other end. So I've cut myself an extra piece of the jewelry wire, and I'm just going to make my little temporary needle. So I've just basically put it in half, pinch the end, and now I have a temporary needle, and it doesn't matter what happens to it because I can throw it away at the end. These things are a godsend, especially for this. If you don't have one of these, I guess you could use, you try a paper clip or something like that, but you'll see when I get to the end why you need that. Okay, so at this end, come down here. It doesn't matter that these are, I've got them basically the same length. I'm going to put my little needle over all the cords like so. So now I'll just get my 5mm beads, and I'm just going to use the needle, you just hold the 2 little ends together, if you can see that, and then you literally slide that on. And then I can do the other one as well. Slide that on too. So how easy was that? Okay. So now I've got it on. All my threads are through these 2 beads, and that was really super easy. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to get my end of the tiger tail. I'm just going to now thread the end of my tiger tail through the 2 beads now that I've got all of these threads on here. I'm just going to leave the threads out of the way for a moment. So I'm going to just pop the crimp straight onto that wire, and it just needs to be a few, whatever for the end. It doesn't even need to be near the beads. And I'm going to come in and I'm just going to squash it with my pliers. I'm going to give it a really good squash to make sure that it's firmly in place. I'm going to pick at it. It's always important to pick at it. Now, if that moved, I just come back in again and give it another squeeze. Now, for today, what we're doing is I don't need this end, so I'm just coming in with my cutters and I'm just going to cut it off. Now, I can bring this down to the end so you can see there. So now that's in place here at the end. Now with these threads here, I'm going to tie a knot. Now I keep a few more and bring them down so that they're reasonably even. Doesn't matter if they're not perfect. And then don't worry about this bead at the moment, it can just do its own thing, and so can this one for that matter. And I'm going to tie a knot over this, so simply by making a loop, and then, so you noticed I worked on the bead mat so I could get all those threads in one go. Then I'm just going to pull it up. Now you can use a pin if you want to. Here, I've got an old head pin here, and I'll just show you. You put your head pin or your tweezers inside the loop, hold it up next to where you want it, get all those threads, and then just pull them up. So I'll do another one. Good, I've captured that tiger tail now. So now I've got a really nice knot over that tiger tail, so that's not going anywhere. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue it up. I'm just going to put a blob on there. I'm just going to take my the end of the head pin or whatever you've got. I can bring this bead up to it now, and if that gets glued, that's all good too, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to make a lovely big blobby mess. Get this out of the way. And even up into the threads a little bit. I'm just going to trim the thread off. Yep. I'm even going to squish it all down so it's all yucky and messy. There we go. How messy is that, huh? Okay, now the best thing is now we're going to turn all professional. I've got my clasp. I'm just going to pop it in. Now these things are really, really, really strong. I'm putting the bead and all the mess inside. And I'm just going to hold it all in there. Now I'm using flat nose no, I'm not. I'm using flat nose. See, they're a nice stronger plier, whereas these ones I used were chain nose. They've got a pointier end. Flat nose are where you really need a good strong plier. You can see they're quite a thick plier. Then I'm just going to pop that in there, hold it in place. Now I need to make this as wide as I can. Come in, and then and you need to use your muscles here and just squeeze it shut. There we go. Done. Now see, it's a little bit messy. I could fix that easily by coming over this side and holding it now, and then I can just gently sort of maneuver it like you do with a crimp cover. Just slowly maneuver it around to bring it in a little bit closer. Good. So now I've got my finished clasp, and when I slide up my bead, hey presto, I've got a really nice professional finish to my necklace. So now the threads are going to come out of the way. I can slide up my beads. So now on my jewelry wire, I've got all my size 6 beads. I've got at the other end here, I've got my 2 metal beads to mirror. One's going to go inside and one's going to go outside. And then I'm just going to get my spring, and I'm going to hold this in place with the spring. I'll do it here in the middle so you can see. Open the spring, pop that in, and then slide it up to the beads. And now I've got a nice firm base ready to begin. I've got 8 threads. I'm going to take the first one I've got my 3 colours of seed beads, and I'm going to start one at a time. So I'll just pop these 2 out of the way. The very first thing is I want to go through that first bead. Remember, we had 1 bead left over at the beginning and 1 bead left over at the end. Now you could actually bend this in half and then just pop your needle through. So I've got my first thread, pop these out the way. So I've got my beads threaded. I'm going to count down to the 9th bead past the silver bead. 7, 8, 9, and I'm going to go through the 9th bead. So I'm missing 8 beads and going through the next one. And that's going to form just a little loop. 10, 14. So I've picked up my next slot. I'm coming out of here. I'm going to count down 8 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to go into the 8th bead. So obviously this is going to happen all the way down the length of the necklace. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 8. So again, I've counted down from where I'm coming out of. I've counted down 8 beads and I'm going through the 8th bead. Now I am going to just go down to the end on this one so that you see what happens at the end. And I've come to the end and I'll go through that extra end bead as well. So here's my last loop. You can see now the whole length, which would have been your necklace. You've done one whole length of the necklace or the beads, and then I'm just going to go through these 2 end beads, and then I can bring it out on top of this, pull it up. Then when I get to the end, I can take off my needle, take my thread, and then you can see I can open this. This is where this is so easy. I can open it, I can pull up both of the threads, make sure that it's nice and firm. Then I can come in with this, and then now that's all held together. So that's what you're going to do at the end of every end. So now we go to the next thread. Remember to go through the first bead. So now again, it's exactly the same. I'm going to pick up 14 beads. This time I'm going through the one before. So if you see here, which was 9 beads down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm going to go through the 8th bead down, which is the one before that I went on the previous row. So if I put that through, and then now I'm going to have another loop. So you can see I'm coming out of this bead here, which was, and last time I went through here. So now I'm coming out here. I'm going to count down 8 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you see it brings me to the bead before I went through last time. So again, I'm just going to pick it up and pop it through that bead and pull it up. So now I've got my second one. Okay, so again we go coming out of here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which brings me to the one before this, and so we go through there. There we go. Now I've done 3, and that's all I'm going to do. So I'll take my needle off. Obviously you would go through the whole length. And now I'm going to go on to my light color. So now again, the first thing is go through that first bead. So if you see here, we went through this one, here we went through this one. Now I want to go through the previous one. So we're going to go down through here. That's why I put on a few less beads. And now my first loop comes in one shorter. So each of the loops at this end will be a little shorter. And when we get to that end, you'll see that it'll probably work out the same way too. So now I can go back to my 14. Again, I'm coming out of this one and I count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go through the 8th, which of course is the one before the one I did previously. So I think you can see what's happening here. Go. So again, I'm going to stop there. Now, as you can see here with this one, this last one came here, so I'm going to go one previous. So I've only got to make beads in a loop this size this time. So I'll probably just do, like about 8 beads or 7 or 8 beads or something here. So I'm going to now come in the one before the previous, which is this one. So I'll just go through that bead. See, and I've just got a small loop. There we go. I can spin it around if I want to. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 comes in the one before. So you can see now I've got my 4 strands done, and I've got sort of like a little bit of a base happening. So now we can start putting in our special beads. So now again, if you can't get through that first bead, just as I said, you can bend it back on itself and just pop it in. There we go. So this one here, you can see that was our last one there. So I want to come through this strand, through this bead here, and I'll just take it through. As you see, that was where my last one was. It's the one previous. Okay. Just get you in where I want you. There we go. And now I pick up my, here, because I want to now not have such big loops, I want to make it a little bit smaller. I did 2 seed beads, a 4mm stone, 3 seed beads, a 4mm stone, and 2 seed beads. So that was the configuration that I've done on this pass. So again, I'm coming out of here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, as you can see, it's really easy. There we go. And see, that's made it just that little bit, it's not such a big loop. So I'm starting to now concentrate the beads in a little bit. Now I'm going to be using the lighter watermelon colour beads to start with, and like I did there, I'll just use a few seed beads, or if you want to, actually I might put a crystal in. There's our gemstone there. It's coming out of here, so I want to come into the one previous and come through here. Okay. My configuration is just 3 crystals with a seed bead either side. Don't worry if you make a mistake or you've come through the wrong bead. It's really not going to make a difference because no one's ever going to see it at the end. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there's that one in there. Okay. So now you can see it's really starting to take shape. And when you're doing it quite long, it's quite fun actually, because you can, weave and dodge around through the different layers to put in your, your different, each strand. Right, now I'm back to the gemstones again. Now what I did with the next layer, and as I think, now where do I want that to come in? I've got gemstones here, so I probably want them to come in on this side. Now again, I'm just going to bend it back and go through this first one. That's why I said it's good to do this at the end, because, as you go, because then you can work out exactly where you want to bring in your next lot of beads. I came in there, so I need to come in here. Yep, on this. So I'll just come in here. And then now I'm going to do the same on this one, because if you remember on the one previous, I just did, if I pull it up, I just did 2. I just did 2 gemstones. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to alternate between 2 and 3 gemstones per pass. So that's my configuration for this. Oops. So I've got 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 2 at the end. So then now I've got 1 gemstone there. I'm going to place this one on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You don't need to count. I mean, you can just look to see where things are coming in and out of and pop them in. I mean, these are all sitting loose because my threads aren't being held in place here. I'll go through this one actually. There we go. And then see, then I can even twist it around here. Another thing you can do too is you can pop your thread underneath one of the rungs, and see, then I can go, okay, now I'm going to put my next one here. So I'll do another one here, and I'll go 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that'll go in here. I've just added that in so you can see a little bit more. Okay, if I pull up these threads, so you can see it's all starting to come together. And now I want to bring in my last row of crystals. See, I've got one on that side, so I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to bring in my last row of crystals along this side. So again, that's why it's, you know, the thicker you get, you can maneuver around your beads to be wherever you want them. Again, bend it back and I'm going to bring it in. And I like the way that on this, the crystals just add just that little hint of colour, but not too much. So now I'm back over on this side. I only need to come into one of these beads. So I'm just going to put on a few beads, or I can put a crystal on if I want to, make it a bit thicker. And then I'm just going to come in. And now I could just go through this one, or I could go through the second one. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's just really free form. So now I'll just add in my crystals again. And as I said, it's just one, exactly the same as before, but you can change it up if you want to. I mean, there's no reason why you can't have gemstones and crystals in the same pass. I mean, it's really just down to your preference and what you like and what beads you've got. I mean, and there's nothing stopping you having all 8 strands, something completely different. There's nothing stopping you. So again, I can sort of think, okay, look, I might bring it up on this side, pop them over onto this side before I go through, and then I can count 8. Obviously, if you're holding them at the other end, see how these are all really loose because these aren't held. It's more dense like that because it's being held firmly at the other end. So by the time you finished your necklace, you've literally got all your threads here. This is held really firmly, so you've got a really nice you know, sort of bunched up a lot of beads with all your random beads, and it's all a little bit chaotic and all really nice, but it actually ends up, if you put it on, it's just a really nice finished bracelet, and it's all held together really nicely, but it's just a whole lot of random strands of beads really. I don't think I need to show you how to finish off, but basically all you have to do is remember, put your finger at the back and you can undo these. You can take your time and pull all the threads up, and all you have to do here, which I can do now, is is literally thread on your crimp, bring it down, just get your threads out the way, bring it down so it's nice and firm, and then just come in with your pliers and give it a squeeze. Don't forget to check it there, and then trim it off. So that's the end of this wire here. And then again, just like we did before, I'm going to make my knots here at the end, and then I'm going to cover it with that as I did before. The only other thing you want to do is one side of this you leave open, and the other side you can just come in with your pliers and give it a little squeeze to close it up. So then you've got a closed loop and then an open loop, and hey presto, we're done.